show Health and Wellness, facts versus myths. The pandemic has put mental as well as physical health and wellness into sharp focus. Awareness of health issues is important for visibility and community. The absence of inaccessibility or inaccuracy of information about chronic illness causes a lack of knowledge, which is then worsened by myths and fear as well as increased social media trust. Now, awareness of disease and symptoms is essential for screening and early detection, and if members of the public are aware of a disease and its symptoms, they're more likely to take action to prevent it from happening. Well, we have a panel of doctors with us to take us through information that we need to be armed with. We're joined by Dr. Rakesh Kumar Patel, Associate Professor, Department of Medicine, Sham Medical College, and Sanjay Gandhi Memorial Hospital, Rewa, and Dr. Balraj Gupta, Consultant Physician, Ratan Hospital, Jalandhar. Thank you so much, doctors, for joining us on the program today. And I'd like to start with you, Dr. Patel. The key to diabetes management is to keep a check on blood sugar and keep control of it. So what is an extended version of the ABCs of diabetes?
Nowadays, the major concern is the EDA has used this word ABCs of the diabetes management.
All right, we'll just try and just reconnect that audio with you. I'll move on to Dr. Gupta. Dr. Gupta, does cholesterol accumulate right from an early age, and do people have to worry about this issue only after they're above 30 years?
First of all, let me actually congratulate NDTV for taking up issues of public interest. It is very important. I feel that unless until mass media is involved in actually educating the masses, we cannot have tangible results as far as lifestyle diseases are concerned, and in fact, infective also. Coming to your question, well, it is very important because what we all doctors know it, that cholesterol starts rising right at early in the, just out of the teens, at the age of 20 it starts rising. But then there are special people like those whose parents have high cholesterol, either one or both parents, those whose parents have had heart disease, those who are obese, those children who are not moving today, especially in the world of digital world, people are kids are not moving. So according to American Health Association, the cholesterol should be checked every 4 to 6 hours in each adult, that is after the age of 20, in case it is normal. In case the cholesterol is high, then it has to be tested more frequently.
All right, and Dr. Gupta, if you could tell us about, heart disease in women, and heart disease affects women differently from men. If you could, explain that to us. And also, is it true that men are more prone to heart disease than women?
Well, we have been talking about gender equality, but God didn't make the genders equal. Women have naturally protected against heart disease, especially when they have of menstruating age. This is because of the estrogen. But once the menstruation is over, one is in menopause, then women and men are equally predisposed to heart disease. Another thing I would like to add here is that if a female is diabetic, then her protection to heart disease actually goes. To take it further, I would like to suggest that women, when they have heart disease, they have more severe disease. Diabetic women are more prone to heart disease, especially heart failure, which is not necessarily because of the blockage in the arteries, it is because of the weakness of the muscle wall of the heart. So, yes, women and men are differently, they behave differently. Men are more prone to heart disease, and then they are more prone to diabetes also.
All right.
Yes,
so women too, are prone to heart disease because there's this sort of thinking that it's men who are more prone. Also, we want to talk about lifestyles now, Dr. Gupta. And, many of us have an irregular routine. We might, stay up late and get up early, have to go to work as well. Does this affect our heart, and what precautions should we take?
This is very important, especially in today's world when boys and girls, young people, they are very up early mobile and they are working and working on odd hours. You know, it is very important to have a regular sleep pattern. The body actually, there is a diurnal variation in the body occurring. Circadian rhythm, as we call it, body gets used to a particular rhythm. I would like to tell the audience here that 6 to 8 hours, I would go other way around, 8 to 6 hours sleep is very important, because as we age, our need for sleep and sleep reduces. But normally 8 hours sleep is good enough for young adults. But sleeping more or sleeping less actually disturbs your immunity, disturbs your cardiac health. Let me tell you that sleeping for more number of hours also affects the heart adversely. With this sleeping pattern, one should have a regularity. That is very important. If you are working late in night, then again there has to be something regular. Another very important point is food. That body actually, it is the most wonderful machine ever made in this universe. God has made a machine which I am sure human beings cannot replicate. So it adapts itself to everything. See, people are taking non-veg, they are taking vegetarian, so the body adapts to everything. So we should, in case our routine is working late nights, our food habits, our food should be actually taken at the right time every day as much as possible. That is very important.
All right. Well, we have Dr. Gupta back with us. So, Dr. Gupta will ask you once again about the ABC of diabetes. If you could tell us, things to watch out for.
A for A1C, B for blood pressure, and C for cholesterol. American Diabetic Association has emerged this word to control diabetic patient has not only control for the sugar, also control for the blood pressure and cholesterol is same important, because we need regularly check up the not only blood sugar, we also need to regularly check up our cholesterol and blood pressure, because they are also risk factor for the complication for the cardiac diseases or stroke. So HbA1c target should be less than 7. Normally in the normal population, adult to the nearly 60, some special conditions in the old ages or children's or especially pregnant women can be we have the other sets, but mostly the patient should be HbA1c less than 7. The BP of the patient always should be less than 140/90. Apart from the specific condition like the kidney diseases, patient need BP much more lower side. And the cholesterol, especially in the bad cholesterol like LDL cholesterol, has to be less than 100, and triglycerides should be less than 150 milligram per deciliter. The good cholesterol should always be more than 40 milligram per deciliter. So these three parameters, especially in the sugar, in the diabetic patient, the HbA1c level, blood pressure and cholesterol, if you manage all the threes, definitely you can postpone your complication of the diabetes, especially for the nephropathy and the cardiac related disease or plus the stroke like condition. So A1, A, B, C, this is the easy to remember for any patient or a common person at least. A for A1C, HbA1c every 6 months at least. B for blood pressure should be monitored every 3 months at least, and cholesterol every 3 to 6 months has to be monitored for a diabetic patient. So we can.
All right. Well, we'll slip into a short break now and return with more about how to manage diabetes and heart disease. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're talking about managing diabetes and heart health. Let's go across now to Dr. Patel. And Dr. Patel, diabetes in women can cause, lots of complications. Does menopause increase diabetes risk, and do hormonal changes in this phase make women more prone to diabetes?
Yeah, definitely. The menopause is not directly cause the diabetes mellitus, But after the menopause, when the estrogen has stopped, the woman has definitely a risk factor to develop the autoimmune and chronic diseases. So after menopause, the female may have the weight gain and other increase the insulin resistance. So they can be prone for the development of the diabetes. Even after the menopause, the females which are whose the other risk factors can also be increased, likely their blood pressure can rise, their dyslipidemia can mismanaged, and they are prone for the other risk factor for the cardiac disease and stroke. So the estrogen is a protective hormone for the women. You hardly hear about the women who has the less than 40 and they have the type 2 diabetes. But most of the women who has developed the type 2 diabetes are after 40 or after the menopause. In Indian scenario, menopause in little bit occur early. So the female in the type 2 diabetes mostly develop the diabetes after menopause. This is the basic scenario. It's not we and 100% we can say no any study. This is a proven key. Menopause can cause the diabetes, but definitely menopause is a risk factor for the diabetes. So after the menopause, women should be screened for the diabetes regularly, and they should screen for their blood sugar level and their blood pressure level, and most of them should be screened for the cholesterol also. So the menopause is a risk factor for the many autoimmune diseases, and that can cause the insulin resistance, which can develop later in the type 2 diabetes mellitus.
Right, doctor, if you're found to be pre-diabetic, is there anything that you can do to prevent the onset of full-blown diabetes?
Yeah, definitely if
Yes.
the patient has a pre-diabetic condition,
Yes, go ahead.
they can prevent, because in the type 2 diabetes mellitus, the most common cause is the insulin resistance. There is definitely some other causes, but insulin resistance is the main cause for the development of diabetes. And with the lifestyle modification and with the food, your diet habits, your exercise habit, and your working habit, your sleeping habit can change or can postpone for the occurrence of the diabetes, and can be postponed the pre-diabetic to convert in the full blown of the diabetes. If you are have 6 to 8 hour a good sleep with good exercise for at least 30 to 40 minutes per day, and your diet style is healthy, definitely you can postpone your diabetes mellitus, type 2 especially, because type 2 is mostly dependent on the lifestyle. You will know that most of the persons who have developed type 2 diabetes are different. Their sedentary lifestyles, most of them has developed.
All right, so clearly keeping fit is the way to prevent disease. So Dr. Gupta, if you could tell us, sometimes due to the hectic schedule that people keep, are not able to exercise. And so does walking while doing daily chores at home or climbing the stairs in the house work as a substitute?
Well, one thing you asked about pre-diabetes, yes, of course. The only key is that you avoid all sugary things. One. Two, stress management. It's very important. It's not difficult. Every one of us, including all of us, I'm sure, have stress. But managing stress is important. Three, it is the exercise. So if you have a busy schedule, if you can't work out regularly in the mornings or in the evenings, whatever, it really doesn't matter. I tell my patients that exercise is like a saving bank account. Even if you deposit 100 rupees, your account will go up by 100 rupees. So what I mean to say is, translating into the reality, yes, you should keep on walking. Watch your steps. Count your steps. Don't count them, but then you should be walking. You should be going up and down. Don't take the elevator. Go the stairs way. If there is a friend, talk to you. If he's a close friend, start walking and talking. So the number of steps that you take is important, and that is what is going to help you. So it is not important to do. Yes, walking is very, very important, and it is very easy. When you go back home, walk in your room, keep on walking. I said that walking should be your nature. People should know that you will keep on walking. It is to remain fit not only as far as your heart is concerned, not only as far as diabetes is concerned, it actually reduces your chances of developing cancer as well, chances of developing hypertension, and it keeps your intestines also fit. So if you cannot find time, yes, keep on taking steps in your daily chore as you're telling me. Absolutely, that helps. And walking is important. Another thing I would like to add here is that there is a school of thought which says the blood pressure should not be more than 130/80. Sprint study in US actually has advocated that the lower the better. So the blood pressure level should be less than 130 and 100 and only 80, systolic and diastolic respectively. So it is important to walk. Whatever it takes, whatever time you have, small times, keep on walking. It will add up at the end of the day, and I'm sure it will keep your heart fit and moving.
All right, so do, try to do a little bit of walking here and there wherever you can fit it into your schedule. So Dr. Patel, if we talk about diabetes management, it's something that you just have to then carry on for the rest of your life for people with diabetes. And this includes achieving a balance between, lifestyle management, having a healthy lifestyle, and medication that can help manage diabetes. So if you could tell us more about a balance that one should have between the two, by people who have diabetes.
Definitely, diabetes is a very simple disease. In India, there's so much burden of huge burden, but people are more aware nowadays. I think if the person's diabetes, because this is a chronic disease, nothing is much serious in a single day. This take lots of time, lots of years to complicate the body by this disease. So if the persons have diabetes, they have just think diabetes needs just some concern about his lifestyle. If he just use some things, he has good diet, avoid the stress and exercise, and a deep calm sleep, that can cause the management. Definitely that can decrease the burden of the pill of the diabetes in the patient. The patient, suppose type 2 diabetes, have the high sugar 300 and he is burning his calorie, and he have the good diet. Suppose there is a much more minerals, there's a much more fibers, there's a much more less carbohydrate and less fat diets. So definitely he can decrease his pill burden. Maybe sometimes we had seen so many patients which have nearly 30 or 35 years of age in the type 2 diabetes mellitus, and they had changed their lifestyle. They had stopped their pills even for 3 to 4 years or 5 years. And we have so many patients which have a good lifestyle, and since last 3 to 4 years, they had not any pills for that diabetes management. Especially in the type 2 diabetes. I'm just talking about the type 2 diabetes mellitus. So if you are in a campus, suppose your office in a campus, just go by the bicycle or just walk to the campus on like in my hospitals or any office area, or just in a office. If you have the time to walk, you can just use the stairs. Always take the healthy foods. It means at least avoid junk foods, beverage, also soft drinks, or the alcohol. Alcohol is a so big enemy of the diabetic patient. So avoid the alcohol mostly. Smoking, avoid the smoking also. And you just need the 7 to 8 hours a good sleep. That's a stress-free life. So stress also increase the hormonal changes in your body. There is some hormones which are increasing in the stress. If you are in stress, and they can cause increase the blood sugar level in your body. So avoid the stress. Always don't do this type of activities or this work which can affect your mood, affect your calm, and affect your work. So they have not at least need a good exercise if you have the time, simple meditation for at least 10 to 15 minutes. A good meditation, deep calm, and 6 to 7 hours sleep is very good for your health. and definitely that.
All right, stress seems to be a major factor. Both of you doctors have been talking about, how stress is very bad and something that brings on disease. Dr. Patel, also it's believed or it's a myth that overweight individuals will develop diabetes. So if you could explain that to us, are skinny people immune to type 2 diabetes?
Oh, no. You can't say any people can be resistant or immune for the diabetes type 2 because the skinny people, it not means they have the fat ratios less. There is a word, skinny fat. Skinny fat, it means there is a visceral fat. The fat in your visceral areas, in visceral organs or in visceral areas or like the muscular area. So if your fat ratio is less, definitely you have the less chance of the diabetes development. But if your fat ratio is more, even your weight is not much more, then definitely you have risk for the development of diabetes. There are so many patients which have the family history of the diabetes. The son is not much healthy from the outside by weight wise, but patients have the not lifestyle good and the fat ratio in the skinny fat is much more in the body. They has definitely developed the diabetes type 2 even in the 10 to 15 years before his parents. So the not only simple weight is a criteria for the development of diabetes. No thin people can say they are immune for the diabetes or they are resistant for the diabetes. They will not develop the diabetes type 2 especially. If your body fat is, visceral fat is more higher, then definitely you can prone for the development of the diabetes. So every person need the exercise, good exercise. Definitely if you are not doing the exercise, right, the fat deposition is much more and protein deficiency is less. So you are risk for the development of diabetes.
All right. And finally, Dr. Gupta, what are the rules of thumb for a layman to take care of his heart? If you could leave us with that good advice so people can, adopt a healthier lifestyle.
Well, this is the most important thing today, I believe. This segment of your health and wellness, which can convey to people. I always tell my patients that you may or may not be knowing your bank account number. There are 5 numbers you should watch out. Number 1 is your weight. Just keeping your weight within the normal acceptable range, BMI. It helps a lot to prevent diabetes, not only diabetes, the complications and the heart disease and many other things. Number 2, I always tell them to watch out their blood sugar level, that they are not diabetic. If they are diabetic, then whatever measures they are taking, their blood sugar level should be controlled. Number 3, the number to watch is blood pressure level. The blood pressure, as I've already told you, it should be less than 130/80. Today, even between 80 and 90, we say it is high blood pressure. Number 4, which is again very important, is your cholesterol that you have already been discussing today in this segment. That cholesterol is what we should need to know. Everybody needs to know what is the cholesterol level. It has been now finally settled that the lower the cholesterol is, the better it is for the body. Number 5, and I don't know how many of us are really aware of it. Number 5 is your waist size. Mind you, the waist size also actually corresponds with the possibility and probability of not only heart disease and the severity of it. So friends, it is very, very important that 5 numbers you have to watch out: your weight, your blood pressure, your sugar level, blood sugar level, your blood cholesterol level, and your waist. This is the sum. I will sum up. If you keep it in control, I think you are doing good for your body.
All right. Well, thank you so much, doctors, for sparing your time and answering all those questions and, to help the viewers maintain a healthy lifestyle. Thank you all for watching at home. Goodbye.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.